going.
Kadri's won the face-off deep inside the offensive zone. Misses over the net.
Oh, man, he's frustrated with himself. He's got to get that on the net.
Quick pass to Thompson. Here he is in front. Can't connect. Colorado's got a hold of it against the wall. The Rangers have it in the offensive zone. And that shot dies in traffic. Great save from in tight. Denies him again.
After the first stop, he's in good position to make a second. I like how square the goalie got to the shooter here. That puck was on and off his stick in a hurry.
James and Ray with you tonight. More than half the period has been played. The Rangers lead it 1-0. Gets it over to Strome. Works it across to Trouba. The Rangers take it across the blue line. He grabs the puck here at the point. Made the save on the play. Big save by the goaltender once again.
Halak's done nice work here on this scoring chance to turn it aside.
The Rangers have been the better team in this first period. More scoring opportunities, and as a result, more goals. McKinnon's won the faceoff. Colorado's got it along the wall. A little crashing and banging forces the turnover. Takes the feed. And here's the pass to Thompson. Takes the shot. Misses a golden opportunity there.
Just misses the net, but really the scoring chance is not dangerous if you can't get the puck at the goaltender.
Colorado's got it in their own zone. New York's got possession at center. Here's a chance. From point blank. Scores! The kid does it again.
James, you'd take any production from a rookie. This kid has been fantastic. He's got 10 goals on the season now and continually shows that he's getting more and more comfortable in the league.
That kid is all right. That's for sure in this league.
Oh, he's got his head up, so he's going to pick the spot here, and he goes through the
legs.
Goalies hate getting scored on in the 5-hole.
All fell asleep to dream of an Arabian camp. Silent people all around him.
The Rangers have to be feeling good about themselves, extending the lead to 2.
It was solemn
They
there,
sure
like a
they played a
cathedral was
terrific hockey
innocent to
game,
a
and now
faint
so close to
sound.
the end of the
A
second
drip,
period, they
drip.
want to bring it right to the intermission just like this.
Pushes it across to
Even while he remained in the dream, Paul knew he would remember it upon awakening. He always remembered the dreams that were predictions. The dream faded. Paul awoke to feel himself in the warmth of his bed, thinking.
Quick feed to Johnson.
This world of Castle Caladan, without play or companions his own age, perhaps did not deserve sadness in farewell. Dr. Yue, his teacher, had hinted that the Farfraluches class system was not rigidly guarded on Arrakis. The planet sheltered people who lived at the desert edge without Kaid or Basha to command them. Will-o'-the-Sand people called Fremen marked down on no census of the Imperial regiment. Arrakis, dune, desert planet. Paul sensed his own tensions and decided to practice one of the mind-body lessons his mother had taught him. 3 quick breaths triggered the responses. He fell into the floating awareness, focusing the consciousness, aortal dilation, avoiding the unfocused mechanism of consciousness. To be conscious by choice, blood enriched and swift, flooding the overload regions, one does not obtain food, safety, freedom by instinct alone. Animal consciousness does not extend beyond the given moment, nor into the idea that its victims may become extinct. The animal destroys and does not produce. Animal pleasures remain close to sensation levels and avoid the perceptual. The human requires a background grid through which to see his universe. Focused consciousness by choice. This forms your grid. Bodily integrity follows nerve, blood flow according to the deepest awareness of cell needs. All things, cells, beings are impermanent. strive for flow, permanence within.
Oh, I like the way he's hanging on to this thing. He's got 2
And
goals
over,
already.
within
If he gets a
Paul's
chance,
floating
here might be
awareness,
number
the
3.
lesson rolled. When dawn touched Paul's windowsill with yellow light, he sensed it through closed eyelids.
Officials
Opened
getting ready
them,
to drop
hearing
the
then
puck.
the renewed
Possession
bustle
so
and
key
hurry in the
today's
castle,
game.
seeing the familiar patterned beams of his
McKinnon's won it off the
bedroom ceiling.
faceoff. A spirited
The
battle
hall
along the
door
boards for the
opened,
puck.
and his mother
And it's
peered
kicked
in,
away.
hair like shaded
Motion
bronze
to
held with
Thompson.
black ribbon
On
at the
the
crown,
deflection.
her oval face
A chance right in
emotionless,
front. Stopped by
and
the
green
goaltender.
eyes
Had to
staring
be shot.
solemnly.
That's a grade A chance.
You're awake. Did you sleep well?
Yes. He studied the tautness of her,
Great position.
saw the hint of tension in her shoulders as she chose clothing for him from the closet racks.
The Rangers have been the
Another
better team so
might have
far
missed
this
the
first
tension.
period. They've had multiple
But she had
scoring
trained him
opportunities
in the
as a
Bene
result have
Gesserit
the lead.
way, in the minutiae of
Throws the puck
observation.
across to Strome.
She turned, holding a semi-formal jacket for him. It carried the red Atreides hawk crest above the breast pocket.
And the puck escapes
Hurry
the
and
zone,
dress.
they'll be forced
Reverend
to
Mother
tie
is
up.
waiting.
I dreamed of her once. Who is she?
She was my teacher at the Bene Gesserit school. Now she's the Emperor's truthsayer. And Paul, you must tell her about your dreams.
I will. Is she the reason we got Arrakis?
We did not get Arrakis.
Jessica flicked dust from a pair of trousers, hung them with a jacket on the dressing stand beside his bed.
Don't keep Reverend Mother waiting.
Paul sat up, hugged his knees.
What's a Gom Jabbar?
Again, the training she had given him exposed her almost invisible hesitation, a nervous betrayal he felt as fear. Jessica crossed to the window, flung wide the draperies, stared across the river orchards toward Mount Siobi.
You'll learn about the Gom Jabbar soon enough.
He heard the fear in her voice and wondered at it. Jessica spoke without turning.
Reverend Mother is waiting in my morning room. Please hurry.
Road hockey, the old blocker stuff.
The Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohayim sat in a tapestried chair, watching mother and son
They really
approach.
don't need to change much.
Windows
James.
on
I
each
love the
side
way
of
that
her
they
overlooked
played
the
tonight.
curving
coach
southern
just
bend of the
reminding
river
kid,
and the
don't
green
get
farmlands
frustrated.
of the
Continue
Atreides
to
family
attack.
holding.
Continue to
But the
try
Reverend Mother
to score
ignored
and
the
blow
view.
this game wide open.
She was feeling her age this morning, more than a little petulant. She blamed it on space travel and association with that abominable spacing guild and its secretive ways. But here was a mission that required personal attention from a Bene Gesserit with the sight. Even the Padishah Emperor's truthsayer couldn't evade that responsibility when the duty call came. Damn that Jessica, the Reverend Mother thought. If only she'd borne us a girl as she was ordered to do. Jessica stopped 3 paces from the chair, dropped a small curtsy, a gentle flick of left hand along the line of her skirt. Paul gave the short bow his dancing master had taught, the one used when in doubt of another's station. The nuances of Paul's greeting were not lost on the Reverend Mother.
He's a cautious one, Jessica.
Jessica's hand went to Paul's shoulder, tightened there. For a heartbeat, fear pulsed through her palm. Then she had herself under control.
Thus he has been taught, Your Reverence.
What does she fear? Paul wondered. The old woman studied Paul in one gestaltant flicker. Face oval like Jessica's, but strong bones. Hair, the Duke's black. Black, but with brow line of the maternal grandfather who cannot be named. And that thin, disdainful nose, shape of directly staring green eyes, like the old Duke, the paternal grandfather who is dead. Now, there was a man who appreciated the power of bravura, even in death, the Reverend Mother thought.
Teaching is one thing. The basic ingredient is another. We shall see.
The old eyes darted a hard glance at Jessica.
Leave us. I enjoin you to practice the meditation of peace.
Jessica took her hand from Paul's shoulder.
Your Reverence, Jessica, you know it must be done.
Paul looked up at his mother, puzzled. Jessica straightened.
Yes, of course.
Paul looked back at the Reverend Mother. Politeness and his mother's obvious awe of this old woman argued caution. Yet he felt an angry apprehension at the fear he sensed radiating from his mother.
Paul, this test you're about to receive, it's important to me.
Test?
He looked up at her.
Remember that you're a duke's son.
Jessica whirled and strode from the room in a dry swishing of skirt. The door closed solidly behind her. Paul faced the old woman, holding anger in check.
Does one dismiss the Lady Jessica as though she were a serving wench?
A smile flicked the corners of the wrinkled old mouth.
The Lady Jessica was my serving wench, lad, for 14 years at school. And a good one, too. Now you come here.
The command whipped out at him. Paul found himself obeying before he could think about it. Using the voice on me, he thought. He stopped at her gesture, standing beside her knees.
See this?
From the folds of her gown, she lifted a green metal cube about 15 centimeters on a side. She turned it, and Paul saw that one side was open, black and oddly frightening. No light penetrated that open blackness.
Put your right hand in the box.
Fear shot through Paul. He started to back away.
Is this how you obey your mother?
He looked up into bird-bright eyes. Slowly, feeling the compulsions and unable to inhibit them, Paul put his hand into the box. He felt first a sense of cold as the blackness closed around his hand. Then slick metal against his fingers, and a prickling as though his hand were asleep. A predatory look filled the old woman's features. She lifted her right hand away from the box and poised the hand close to the side of Paul's neck. He saw a glint of metal there and started to turn toward it.
Stop.
Using the voice again, he swung his attention back to her face.
I hold at your neck the Gomja bar. The Gomja bar, the high-handed enemy. It's a needle with a drop of poison on its tip. Aha, don't pull away, or you'll feel that poison.
Paul tried to swallow in a dry throat. He could not take his attention from the seamed old face, the glistening eyes, the pale gums around silvery metal teeth that flashed as she spoke.
A duke's son must know about poisons. It's the way of our times, eh? Musky to be poisoned in your drink. Almas to be poisoned in your food. The quick ones and the slow ones and the ones in between. Here's a new one for you. The Gomja bar. It kills only animals.
Pride overcame Paul's fear.
You dare suggest a duke's son as an animal?
Let us say I suggest you may be human. Steady. I warn you not to try jerking away. I am old, but my hand can drive this needle into your neck before you escape me.
Who are you? How did you trick my mother into leaving me alone with you? Are you from the Harkonnens?
The Harkonnens? Bless us, no. Now be silent.
A dry finger touched his neck, and he stilled the involuntary urge to leap away.
Good. You passed the first test. Now here's the way of the rest of it. If you withdraw your hand from the box, you die. This is the only rule. Keep your hand in the box and live. Withdraw it and die.
If I call out, there'll be servants on you in seconds and you'll die.
Servants will not pass your mother, who stands guard outside that door. Depend on it. Your mother survived this test. Now it's your turn. Be honored. We seldom administer this to men, children.
Curiosity reduced Paul's fear to a manageable level. He heard truth in the old woman's voice, no denying it. If his mother stood guard out there, if this were truly a test, and whatever it was, he knew himself caught in it, trapped by that hand at his neck, the Gomja bar. He recalled the response from the litany against fear as his mother had taught him out of the Bene Gesserit rite. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. He felt calmness return.
Get on with it, old woman.
Old woman? You've courage, and that can't be denied. Well, we shall see, Sarah. You will feel pain in this hand within the box. Pain. But withdraw the hand, and I'll touch your neck with my Kumqatninja Career. The death so swift it's like the fall of the headsman's axe. Withdraw your hand, and the Kumqatninja Career takes you. Understand?
What's in the box?
Pain.
He felt increased tingling in his hand, pressed his lips tightly together. How could this be a test? He wondered. The tingling became an itch.
You've heard of animals chewing off a leg to escape a trap. There's an animal kind of trick. A human would remain in the trap, endure the pain, feigning death that he might kill the trapper and remove a threat to his kind.
The itch became the faintest burning.
Why are you doing this?
To determine if you're human. Be silent.
Paul clenched his left hand into a fist as the burning sensation increased in the other hand. It mounted slowly, heat upon heat upon heat upon heat. He felt the fingernails of his free hand biting the palm. He tried to flex the fingers of the burning hand, but couldn't move them.
It burns.
Silence.
Pain throbbed up his arm. Sweat stood out on his forehead. Every fiber cried out to withdraw the hand from that burning pit. But the Kumqatninja Career. Without turning his head, he tried to move his eyes to see that terrible needle poised beside his neck. He sensed that he was breathing in gasps, tried to slow his breaths and couldn't. Pain. His world emptied of everything except that hand immersed in agony. The ancient face inches away, staring at him. His lips were so dry he had difficulty separating them. The burning. The burning. He thought he could feel skin curling black on that agonized hand. The flesh crisping and dropping away until only charred bones remained. It stopped. As though a switch had been turned off, the pain stopped. Paul felt his right arm trembling, felt sweat bathing his body.
Enough. Cool hard. No woman child ever withstood that much. I must have wanted you to fail.
She leaned back, withdrawing the Kumqatninja Career from the side of his neck.
Take your hand from the box, young human, and look at it.
He fought down an aching shiver, stared at the lightless void where his hand seemed to remain of its own volition. Memory of pain inhibited every movement. Reason told him he would withdraw a blackened stump from that box.
Do it.
He jerked his hand from the box, stared at it, astonished. Not a mark, no sign of agony on the flesh. He held up the hand, turned it, flexed the fingers.
Pain by nerve induction. Can't go around maiming potential humans. There are those who'd give a pretty for the secret of this box, though.
She slipped it into the folds of her gown.
But the pain.
Pain. A human can override any nerve in the body.
Paul felt his left hand aching, uncurled the clenched fingers, looked at 4 bloody marks where fingernails had bitten his palm. He dropped the hand to his side, looked at the old woman.
You did that to my mother once.
Ever sift sand through a screen?
The tangential slash of her question shocked his mind into a higher awareness. Sand through a screen. He nodded.
We Bene Gesserit sift people to find the humans.
He lifted his right hand, willing the memory of the pain.
And that's all there is to it. Pain.
I observed you in pain, lad. Pain's merely the axis of the test. Your mother's told you about our ways of observing. I see the signs of her teaching in you. Our test is crisis and observation.
he heard the confirmation in her voice.
It's truth.
She stared at him. He senses truth. Could he be the one? Could he truly be the one? She extinguished the excitement, reminding herself hope clouds observation.
You know when people believe what they say.
I know it.
The harmonics of ability confirmed by repeated tests were in his voice. She heard them.
Perhaps you are the Kwisatz Haderach. Sit down, little brother, here at my feet.
I prefer to stand.
Your mother sat at my feet once.
I'm not my mother.
You hate us a little, eh? Jessica!
The door flew open and Jessica stood there staring hard-eyed into the room. Hardness melted from her as she saw Paul. She managed a faint smile.
Jessica, have you ever stopped hating me?
I both love and hate you. The hate, that's from pains I must never forget. The love, that's
Just the basic fact. You may come in now, but remain silent. Close that door, and mind it that no one interrupts us.
Jessica stepped into the room, closed the door, and stood with her back to it. My son lives, she thought. My son lives and is human. I knew he was, but he lives. Now I can go on living. The door felt hard and real against her back. Everything in the room was immediate and pressing against her senses. My son lives. Paul looked at his mother. She told the truth. He wanted to get away alone and think this experience through, but knew he could not leave until he was dismissed. The old woman had gained a power over him. They spoke truth.